Hey, this is Vampire the Masquerade, Shadows of New York. I know that a lot of people really like this game, or not this one in particular, it just came out today, but a lot of people really like the first one from like 10 years ago. And I've never played it, but I've watched people play it, and I'm excited for the second one. Let's see what the fuck this is. Welcome to my castle. Don't expect everyday logic to work here. It went out of the window sometime after midnight, maybe earlier. My kingdom is not of this world, you see. It lies far outside of concrete, tangible reality. I've tried to identify the way people reach it, and am convinced it has something to do with the moon. Some say the moon's aura can turn them insane. You've heard the phrases moonstruck and lunatic. The way I see it, moonlight gives them subliminal permission to reveal about their true selves. And so, whenever they let the silver radiance guide them to the gates of this place, they feel different. Once they pass the doorstep, they're ready to act out. A dance of the horrors and marvels begin. It's 3:31 a.m. Welcome to Big Beat Burger. Oh. That was a stream alert. Cool. Anyway, welcome to Big Beat Burger. If you're here at this hour, you're not exactly readying up to be a productive member of society come tomorrow morning. More likely, you're praying that sunrise never comes. Insatiable children of the night gather round, hoping to bask in the afterglow of tonight's victories, unwind after a frustrating series of failures, or simply fight to keep themselves together. Meanwhile, I'm just sitting here greedily reveling in every interaction they have. They have no idea they are only here for my amusement. To them, I'm just a random girl sitting in the corner. But this is my domain. I've been coming here almost every night for years. I know where to sit, where to look, and where to eavesdrop for maximum amusement. I'm basically a voyeur, and unashamed to admit it. It gave me insight about the human condition I'd never otherwise have gathered, and more importantly, a necessary skill set to make ends meet as a journalist. As I write on my crappy old laptop, patiently waiting for the legion of negative voices in my head to get too tired to offer useless feedback, I keep my senses peeled to pick up stories around me. Of course, a lot of regular events such as food fights are nothing to write home about, aside from my unfortunate tendency to become collateral damage in someone else's battles. Up to this day, I've had to wash my clothes because of Coke, Diet Coke, hot coffee, apple pie, and some sort of, improvised honey mustard bomb. Every stain tells a different story. Sometimes this hobby is exhausting. Sometimes it's disturbing. Sometimes it's dangerous. Although, not as risky as back when I wasn't carrying pepper spray. Oh shit. Still, the sights I've taken in over the years have made it absolutely worth it. I've got so many stories, I don't know where to begin. Theatrical breakups, impromptu morning parties, unexpected friendships forged in the fires of senseless battles. A lady in a gorgeous Givenchy dress ordering a box of takeout chicken nuggets, paying in cash with her hands completely covered in blood. She was asked if she wants a napkin. She said no. Two thirsty macho dudes shamelessly going in for the corner, hushed, moaning, filled the lobby, while everyone around valiantly fights to act as usual and maintain an illusion of normalcy. A straight-up kung fu fight between a diminutive cashier and some drugged bodybuilder going through a psychotic episode, trying to break all the windows. The big guy left the joint fully convinced that he knocked himself out, while the service worker was just standing next to him. Seemed proud of his victory, too. A middle-aged hag getting a heart attack after screaming her lungs out not to let Muslims near her food, just because she saw a white girl wearing a hairnet behind the counter. A masked couple robbing a restaurant of 30 hamburgers, forcing the employees to cook at gunpoint. Police later said those were art students reenacting some hipster book they read. This is life. This is humanity at its worst and best. This is the noise that serves as the foundation for my creativity. This is the soma that keeps me going. This is... as pathetic as it may sound, these days this is the only place where I feel alive. Sometimes I think of myself as a leech, feeding on these people's stories, emotions, and personalities just because I'm not satisfied with mine. At times, I think of my psyche as some kind of shitty postmodern construct that is fundamentally incapable of honesty, but only yearns for something felt and truthful. Does this even make any sense? I look at the screen of my laptop. 4:37 a.m. At this point, I'm almost somnambulic, but nothing interesting has happened yet. Feels like all the customers are watching each other eat, hoping for the others to provide a fun diversion. This is my turf, you parasitic douchebags. Next time, go find your own. I think it's time to call it a night. The coffee I always order so that they don't kick me out is undrinkable. I reread through the rough draft I've been working on for the last 6 hours. God damn, this is pure trash. I hold the backspace button until the Google Documents page is nothing but a calm, white slate and let out a sound of deep relief. There's no pleasure more intoxicating for a frustrated writer than ragging on someone even worse than them. And what target is easier than the dumb bitch you used to be 10 minutes ago? I check the time again. I need to go. I have an important meeting tomorrow at 10 a.m. and I have a hunch it's not going to end well. And it's not because I'm an irresponsible dumbass who's going to need a few cups of coffee to simply function on a basic level despite, like, 4 hours of sleep. It's because I always have a hunch things are not going to go the way they're supposed to. The loud clatter of keyboards assault me from all sides, making the splitting headache unbearable. Used to be I dreamed of nothing else but being a part of the New York Lodestar editorial team. It was the first magazine I started reading regularly. The first magazine I ever bought for myself. Now simply hearing the word Lodestar is enough to ruin my mood. Never mind seeing all these old farts phoning in more reactionary opinion columns and Wikipedia-level analysis of current events. They used to destroy and rebuild my entire worldview every month. They shaped my thinking about politics, art, journalism. They even pointed me towards my favorite cigarette brand, for God's sake. Then some talented people started leaving for greener pastures. Some got too wrapped up in their own neurosis. Some became complacent. All of them committed to the sin of allowing themselves to grow older. Fresh blood was deemed unnecessary, even though young freelancers kept being bled dry. These days, whenever someone from outside Lodestar talks about Lodestar, it's because of a few idealistic contributors willing to accept meager pay while putting in serious work. Dumbasses. Other than that, the magazine specializes in publishing pale echoes of provocative ideas I heard somewhere else a few years prior, wrapped up in an aesthetic that hasn't been cutting edge for a decade. No wonder the readership is in free fall. But even though the ship is sinking, the old guard won't let it go down without a fight. As in, if anyone from the outside attempts to board the vessel in hopes of fixing its courses or its holes, they will be swiftly taken care of. I should know. Been there, done that. As it stands, the only full-time staff member who doesn't make me regularly attempt to cringe my face off with his writing is Lodestar's editor-in-chief Brian Ning, the man sitting in front of me right now. Of course, he only has time for editorials these days. A drop in the sea of needs. Managerial duties hit him hard. It's the second time he's let out a theatrical cough like this. He said his piece. Now it's time for me to react. And I'm coming up blank. But what do you want me to say, Brian? I'm pissed off. I can't tell you've already made up your... I can tell you've already made up your mind, but... you still want to go through the motions just to make me feel... listened to. Whatever. Let's do this. You're protecting a complete piece of shit here. Now look, I know my article sounds like a character assassination, but it's just because the guy gave me enough ammo to make him look like Swiss cheese once the story goes live. My sources are legit. They provided receipts for everything. They faced all kinds of injustices and are crying out for help. So, why are you siding with a corporate shithead and not them? Your sources are not the problem here. I never said they were. You're avoiding the core of the issue. No, I believe I pinpointed it in a precise way. If it were up to me, I'd greenlight the article here and now, and we wouldn't be having this conversation. But you're killing the article! Just because some rich shithead told you he doesn't like it! Get real. This is not about some millionaire jerk calling me to make me an offer I can't refuse. What is this about then? Because it looks awfully like... It's all about my bosses telling me this outlet can't afford the legal action we'd already have been threatened with. So, millionaire interference. Oh, for crying out loud, Julia. Don't make me treat you like a child. You know how this works. I publish your story. It's Theo versus Gawker all over again. It's a lawsuit here, a lawsuit there, until we're bled dry. I have a mortgage. I have 3 mouths wait to be fed at home. I have an amazing team that doesn't deserve to be torn apart over some... Don't you think it's telling you mentioned your mortgage first? Just asking questions. I know better than to get into these empty semantic arguments with you, Miss Sawinski. You're good at them. The problem is you're still not good enough. Meaning? You're too in love with weaving a good story and establishing a seductive narrative to let facts get in the way. You've got enough boring suits with no principles on board these days. They always give you facts because that's all they can do. I'm using facts as a way to approach some kind of truth. Except facts can blindside you. And Double Spiral has enough facts to water down your story to the point where it makes no sense to publish it. Their HR and PR are working overtime to deliver a convincing counter-narrative, and they're doing a great job. Won't mitigate the damage completely, but we'll put every little thing in question. Jesse Montgomery is a racist, a fraud, a sexual predator, and a downright satanic fuckhead. Julia, let me say it again. Jesse Montgomery is a racist, a fraud, a sexual predator, and a downright satanic fuckhead. Do you personally believe it or not? This is not... You've listened to the tapes. You've read the transcripts. You've seen the documents. You've got the files. I'm asking for your personal opinion. Do you believe it or not? Of course I do, but that's beside the point. It's not. Look, how about I just say it out loud and save us both some time, alright? We're not having this conversation because there's an actual conversation to be had. You set up this meeting knowing very damn well there's only one way it's going to end. You've got a mortgage and 3 mouths to feed. You prioritize the well-being of your direct surroundings over some nebulous concept of the greater good. I get it, I really do. Yet for some reason, it seems like you're only prolonging this conversation and rationalizing your decision so that I... forgive you? Officially exonerate you? I'm not the bad guy here, Julia. So, what are you? What are you then, in your own words? A man who does what's necessary to protect his own. So I don't count as your own anymore? I don't know if you even want to work under a scumbag like me from now on. Oh, come on. Don't turn this into a pity party. No, I'm absolutely a scumbag. Why is that? Because I'm firing you. That son of a bitch. My thoughts are scrambled. For a brief moment, the state of my bank account displays before my eyes with startling clarity. A howling void opens in my chest and starts traveling towards my stomach. No. Don't panic yet, you idiot. Get more information. Now there must be a catch. You're joking. Oh, I get it. You're just kidding. I'm a jerk here, but not that much of a jerk. No way. You're gonna say it's just a prank. I know you. This isn't you. This isn't me. It's them. What them? Who's them? He glances left and right, and then points upward for a short moment. When he speaks again, it's in a hushed voice. I know. The big kahunas. Can't really question them. And they wanted your head on a silver platter. He's not looking me in the eye. You're not joking. As I said, I would never joke about stuff like this. It's real. Fucking hell, it's real! Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it all to hell. All these years, all this grind, my plans, and for what? Fucking asshole, you know I deserve better, and I always deserve better, and it always ends with me going down the fucking drain and back to the sewers. No. Take a few deep breaths. Don't lose the plot now. Keep yourself together, you idiot. The moment you show weakness, to go for your throat. Get back in control. You can't do this. I wish I didn't have to, but it's a lost cause. No, I mean, it's impossible. Julia, you can't fire someone who's never been hired in the first place. It takes him a few seconds to put on his, oh, I get it face, let out a troubled gasp, and start massaging his temples. Lodestar has been my biggest source of income for the past few years. That much is true. But technically, nobody has ever hired me here. It was all freelance jobs. A full-time position only served as a kind of a dangling carrot. A promise of a decent pay grade, career perspectives, maybe even some kind of insurance to save my failing health. And the recognition I would get for being a part of the Lodestar team. A position that everyone around me seems to respect, aside from me. Then, why did I want it so much? There will be a time to mourn what could have been. For now, I should act like I don't care. You know what I mean? If I let you work, even under a fake name, it would be a guillotine for me. This is ridiculous. You know I'm gonna start shopping the story around the second I leave this room, don't you? Of course I know. I told him. Any response? Let us worry about that. Well, that doesn't sound ominous at all. I wonder if I can get accustomed to one of these loud mechanical keyboards some people here love to use. Whenever I did my work in here, I was still expected to bring my own crappy laptop and sit closer to the lobby. On the outside, no matter how hard I try and break in, a vibration in my back pocket feels like a bad omen. I decide to ignore it for now. I've been working on this fucking story for, I don't know, 16 months, on and off? I know. You just kept cheering me on. I know. We've even agreed on the pay I'd receive. I know. I'm 2 months behind in my rent. No, wait, 2.5. I catch him off guard. He is momentarily taken aback, and then gives me an apathetic stare. Don't you look at me this way. You don't have the right. I didn't know. Well, now you do. Look, if there's anything that I can do to help. If you can't tell your big kahunas to fuck off, I don't think there's a single thing. Julia. I pull out a smoke and light it up. Gotta get back in control. Please don't do that. There's a smoke detector here. No worries. Nick turned it off a few weeks ago. Probably the most creative thing he's done in the past 5 years. Good old Nick. The perfect 21st century cinema reviewer. Never has an original thought of his own. Just relies on his purely algorithmic taste to stay likable. And the best thing is, it works. Funny, I used to dream about his job. It was Brian who killed this dream, making me realize Nick won't be unseated anytime soon, and offered to teach me the ways of an investigative journalist instead. It wasn't the career that I wanted to pursue, but to my dismay, it turned out to be surprisingly good at it, until this Montgomery thing happened. Serves me right, lesson learned. Should have pursued my dreams instead. Stop it. Nicholas is a good friend, a respected critic, a member of my team. And put out that smoke. When people tell me I let you step all over me, why do I even let you act this way? Because you once told me honesty is most important in a mentor-student relationship. And that works both ways. And because I thought we were friends. He bites his lip and stares sideways to avoid my eyes. At the end of the day, bosses aren't friends. Must have been a terrible mentor if I didn't teach you that. You could have been better. Yeah, could have been a bit better. There's too much shared history between us, so I'm reluctant to make this parting of ways too bitter. I might have failed as a guide, but I will do what I can to not leave you stranded, okay? There are options. None of them are a remedy for all your troubles, but... Wait a second. Another vibration. Another foreboding feeling. This time I reluctantly take the smartphone out of my pocket, as if it has to rain, why not let it pour? A new email. It's a lengthy one. And the sender? Speak of the devil. No. This can't be. Christ. I just, got an email from Mila Lopez. She claims she's just been laid off from Double Spiral. Same as, Mike Antonoff and Jared Rivera. What? What happened? I'll spare you all her insults, okay? The thing is, it seems their HR knows all the confidential information about my journalistic investigation and used it to shut everyone's mouth. Hell, apparently Montgomery walked up to Lopez as she was emptying her desk and told her to thank me for being a, quote, dumb and careless cunt. Brian goes pale. I think he has a very, very good reason to. You fucking scumbag. You outed my sources? What? What? No, of course not. What are you even saying? Oh, don't you dare play coy. It must have been either you or me and no one else. And you know the way I work. My investigation was basically untraceable both on and offline. Carefully picked meeting spots, encryption upon encryption, every direct quote rewritten 5 times just in case. All sorts of red herrings scattered around. You know my shit. You know I do. And this timing. Did you just pass a flash drive to your beloved Big Kahunas during a meeting as a sign of goodwill? Look, I get you're upset, but why don't we just talk this through calmly? Wow, all these answers are pretty much the same fucking thing. Alright, I like this one. It's in all caps. Fury takes the wheel, and I'm just here along for the ride. I can't do anything about it. In a deranged way, realizing you're just a passenger in your own body feels liberating. Let's just see it all unfold. Calmly? Fuck you, Brian. Julia, I've been paranoid for months and months, acting like everyone I didn't know was an assassin or corporate spy. I know I haven't messed up, not in a way that would implicate all of them. You thought you can get away with this. I haven't done anything improper. Don't push the blame on. So what? You're claiming it's my fault? Because you're never the guilty one? It's always the bosses, the economy, the obligations, and you haven't now me? You're being silly. Quit with all this martyr bullshit. Calm down or I'll have to. You're a moral shithead. You motherfucker, calm down for Christ. And so it goes. I yell out a lot of words I wanted to say for a long time, but held back. I fling a lot of insults I've been workshopping for years, hoping I'd never use them. And I break a few things. At times, for a split second, I see pity in someone's eyes. It's gonna haunt me for a long time, but in the heat of the moment, I don't care. These people... No. This company has nothing left to offer me. So at least, let me take this catharsis. In the end, a security guard has to escort me out of the building. And that's the end of my journalistic career.